The online photography space right now is really tough. There are so many of us who are uploading great images to Instagram, and we only receive a couple of likes and a handful of comments, mainly from spam bots who are trying to sell pairs of sunglasses. And I know it's not just me who's thinking, for God's sake, why did I just hike up this mountain, wake up at the crack of dawn, get all my camera equipment ready, shoot, come home, edit, and then upload, only to be greeted with this? Bruh. A real hot mess. And yet, this is the only kind of output that I've had from my photography for about the last 10 years. A couple of Instagram posts a year, a disheartening response to everything that I post, but continuing to shoot for the love of photography and because I want to document my life in a meaningful way. But then earlier this year, everything changed for me, and it was to do with starting this YouTube channel. I was like, why not? It seems like a cool thing to do. I like taking photographs and making videos. So let's see where this goes. Fast forward 12 months, and I think it's the best decision that I've ever taken for my photography in particular. And so today, we're gonna break down why that is, and if you should consider starting a YouTube channel in 2025. Let's break it down. The first thing that I really noticed is that imposing a deadline really helps focus your mind. I used to think I was a pretty good photographer. Okay, I still think I'm a pretty good photographer, but what you realize when you impose a deadline is that in order to upload my YouTube video every single week, I need to take some photos that I'm proud of every single week. And that might not sound like a problem, but when you start doing it, you realize how focused and efficient you have to become. It's not just these videos that I have going on in my life. I've got a full-time job, I live in central London, I've got a half-decent social life, I've got a girlfriend that I spend time with, and I want to spend some time for myself. But at the same time, I need to make sure I get some great photos and post them on a weekly basis here on the channel. And what this has meant for me has actually been really beneficial for my photography in general. You realize that you really need to focus on making sure you get some great images. And the best way to do that is by having a camera on you at all times. So whereas before, I might be okay just to go to the shops and have a chill day and not take any photos, now I know I'm gonna have a camera in my pocket and I'm not gonna miss anything. Otherwise, where are those photos gonna come from? I don't have the luxury of not shooting anymore. I need to take a camera with me so I can get some content. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the videos on this channel I look back on and think, oof, that's a little bit embarrassing. Those photos might not have been so good. There are definitely some that I'm not exceptionally proud of, but I simply don't have the time and the luxury to go and reshoot. I have to post something, and I've just come to terms with the fact that I want to post the best possible video that I can on a weekly basis. One thing that is refreshing is that because I'm always thinking about the next video, it doesn't leave me much time to reflect on whether I'm embarrassed about the video I've just posted. I'm constantly having to look forward to the next deadline to make sure I have something ready to upload here on my channel. Now, it does sound quite intense when you phrase it like that, but on reflection, I think it's quite refreshing. I'm always looking forwards, I'm not really dwelling on the past, and I'm always thinking and being excited about things that I've got coming up in my life and how I can document them in the best possible way. For those of you out there who kind of beat yourself up a little bit about the photos you take and the reception that you have, setting a deadline like this in your life can be really good. It really changes the mental space because I'm now focusing on the output, and that's my goal, rather than the reception that it gets, which is not in my control. Showing the story behind the shot. Sometimes I feel like with my photography, the story behind the shot itself is just as impressive, if not more, than the shot that I've taken. If you're a photographer who kind of rocks up to the car park, fires a couple of shots and then drives home, this might not be one for you. But my style of photography, and one I love, is really suffering for some of these shots. Hiking, long days, early mornings, camping out, being outside is part of the experience itself. Now, when I upload a photo on Instagram that I've taken, you don't really get a sense of that, the challenge behind it, and how proud I am of it. You can't see how soaking wet and freezing cold I am, the fact that my fingers can't really press the shutter button properly, the fact that I'm exhausted, or how hard I worked and suffered to get this photo. And I really like that about my photography. I think for me, it makes my photos feel way more meaningful. So a photography YouTube channel is a great way to document this and share it with people in sometimes a funny or relatable way. I really enjoy that, and it crafts a story and a narrative around the images that I take, and I think that that's a really nice thing to look back on and share with others. Which brings me quite nicely onto my next point. Having a YouTube channel is like packaging my photography into mini projects on a weekly basis. Having a photo project is an excellent way to improve on your craft. It gives you structure and it feels like you can work a way to improve on a specific way of shooting. It'll help deepen your understanding of photography and eventually make you a better photographer. That's why so many people release things like photo books. It's a culmination of works with a theme, and they apply themselves to make the best possible work they can within boundaries that they set for themselves. Well, instead of that, I've got this photography YouTube channel right here. On a weekly basis, I have little projects, whether it's shooting with a specific camera, trying out a film simulation, buying a weird film stock, or just going to a beautiful place and trying to get the best possible images that I can. Whatever it is, I'm focused around a little theme and I'm trying to do the best job of fleshing that out and bringing it to life that I can. It's a creative challenge in itself, just working out the best way to shoot and package these videos in a lovely, digestible way that makes sense and hopefully is helpful for some people out there. So if you're out there and you're struggling for a little bit of structure or a project that you want to apply yourselves to, a YouTube channel could be a great shout. And now there is a lot of drilling going on. Let's hop to another location. Hopefully that is a little bit better. The final point that I wanted to make is about receiving meaningful feedback. Starting a YouTube channel has been the first time where I've got thoughtful, considered feedback from random people on the internet. When was the last time that you received a well thought out, well written Instagram comment that was constructive about the photos that you'd taken? Bruh. It just doesn't happen, does it? It's just not the case. Whereas on YouTube, that happens all the time. I've had some really great words of encouragement. I've had some people point out errors in my work. I've had people contribute constructively to how I shoot things. I've had people add in their knowledge and form a knowledge base in the comments around how to operate certain aspects of a camera that I'm making a video about. And sometimes, yes, they're a little bit mean, but I appreciate all of them, even the mean ones. So no, I really mean it. Receiving feedback from people online and they're not a bot account or looking for you to follow them back has been a real revelation. It's so nice and it's so natural. We should be sharing our photography and getting this sort of feedback on a regular basis. And YouTube has been a great way for me to do that. Where else would 1,000 people watch me go through the process of putting a photo together and then have a look at the photo I've taken, and then a couple of them come to the comment section and let me know how wonderful they thought it was or what they think I can do better. That is really something that we should be looking for as photographers. It's mind-blowing to me and I love it. In fact, one of my favorite comments that I got this year was actually probably not a positive one. In fact, it was from someone who watched a video and they made a comment that they were a little bit disappointed that I used the same music in several sections of my video and it made it feel a little bit monotonous. This was just some background music behind me speaking in certain segments. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. Someone has watched my video and paid close enough attention to it that the background music behind me speaking, the fact that it looped, has annoyed them a little bit and they've let me know in the comment section. That's really cool that someone is paying that much attention to what I'm putting out. So, to conclude, YouTube isn't perfect. There are many things that I would change about it. I think the algorithm could be tweaked, so it's not always so much about gear. But at the end of the day, people will watch what they want to watch. What I do think though, is that it's a much more thoughtful and deliberate platform than some of the other ones. You can really take your time to tell the story of your images, show the process that went into creating them, and have meaningful engagement with people who are talented just like yourselves out there, who will comment and give me feedback. I feel like we have a real safe space here on YouTube for photography, and I'm all for that. I love it. So in 2025, if you're looking for a slightly time-consuming but very rewarding thing to do on the side, I think starting a YouTube channel is an excellent idea. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little summary of kind of my thoughts so far on this YouTube journey, how I'm really enjoying and think it's contributed to my photography, and some reasons why you might want to consider starting a channel of your own. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any questions or comments and feedback on the video. As I've mentioned, I do really appreciate them. Finally, I do release a video like this every single week here on YouTube, so if you like it, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.